The Book Essence Podcast, Ep.8. Think and Grow Rich.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into something pretty legendary today. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Ah, a classic.
Right. I mean, this book has been inspiring people for almost a century, especially when it comes to, achieving those big financial dreams.
Yeah, it's practically a Bible for those looking to build wealth.
Totally. But you know what? Today, we're not just skimming the surface.
Way going deeper.
Way deeper. We're after the mindset shifts this book is famous for. The stuff that really rewires your thinking for success.
Love that. Getting into the mental habits of those who achieve great things. Hill really believed success leaves clues, and he spent years, studying incredibly successful people to decode how they thought.
Exactly. And he lays it all out in these principles, like the first one, desire.
Yeah.
Hill kicks things off with the story of Edwin Barnes. This guy was obsessed, fixated on working with Thomas Edison.
Not just for him, right? With him.
Exactly. But Barnes, he had zero connections, no money, just this crazy, intense desire. It's like he was a warrior burning his ships. Total commitment, no turning back.
That's a really good point. It wasn't just some vague wish. Barnes took action. He literally showed up at Edison's lab ready to do anything just to be in that environment.
Wow, that's dedication.
And it paid off, right? He got his shot when Edison needed someone to sell his new dictating machine. Everyone else turned Edison down, but not Barnes. He went all in, and guess what? Made a fortune selling that thing.
It's inspiring, right? It makes you think about your own goals.
Absolutely.
What are we willing to risk to get what we really want? What bridges could we burn to show that level of commitment?
It's a powerful question, and Hill argues that without that burning desire, you're way more likely to give up when the going gets tough.
Oh, it's going to get tough.
And it will.
So, okay, how do we even cultivate that kind of desire? Is it something you're born with, or can we develop it?
Well, that leads us to the next principle, faith. Now, before you think we're getting all, mystical here.
Right, going full woo-woo.
Hill's idea of faith is very practical. He's talking about the kind of self-belief that fuels action, the belief that attracts opportunities.
Okay, so more like believing in yourself even when nobody else does.
That's it. If you don't truly believe you can succeed, why should anyone else? It's like that placebo effect, right? People get real results just because they believe they will.
Oh, the mind-body connection. Powerful stuff.
And Hill observed that successful people, they just expect to win. It's like their belief becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, they don't even entertain the possibility of failure.
Right. So how do we develop that unshakable faith? Hill suggests a technique he calls autosuggestion.
Autosuggestion. Sounds intense.
It is. Think of your subconscious mind like, fertile ground. Whatever you plant there grows. So you plant those seeds of success.
So positive affirmations, visualizing those goals, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But it's got to be more than just words on a page. You have to feel those emotions like it's already happening.
Okay, so it's not just thinking positive, it's feeling it.
That's the key. It's about immersing yourself in that feeling of success. Write your goals down, read them aloud, and really visualize yourself living them. Make it emotional. That's what makes it stick.
Okay, I'm liking this. Hacking your brain for success.
Yeah.
But okay, knowing what you want and believing you can get it, that's great. But what about the actual how-to?
Right, the practical steps. That's where specialized knowledge comes in.
Principle number 3.
Yep. Hill says there's a difference between general knowledge, like school stuff, and specialized knowledge, which is about being an expert in something valuable.
Becoming the go-to person.
Exactly. He uses Henry Ford as an example. Ford, he wasn't a scholar, but he knew cars inside and out.
And that built an empire. Okay, so find your niche, right, where your passion and expertise meet. But then how do we turn that into, tangible success?
This is where Hill gets really interesting. He claims, and this might be controversial, that imagination is more valuable than money.
Wait, hold on. More valuable than money.
He believed that money follows good ideas. Think about it. Carnegie, Edison, Ford, their fortunes were built on their ideas.
Okay, yeah, but you need money to turn those ideas into reality, right?
Hill would argue that the money will appear when the idea is valuable enough. Remember Edwin Barnes, no money when he walked into Edison's lab, but his burning desire, his faith, and his willingness to offer his specialized knowledge, those were his currencies.
So cultivate your imagination. Trust your gut. develop those specialized skills, and the resources will follow.
That's the essence of it. He'll believe that the universe, or however you want to think of it, conspires to help those who are clear about what they want and willing to put in the work.
Okay, I'm with you so far. So we've got the desire, the belief, and the knowledge. What's next on Hill's roadmap to success?
It's something a lot of us struggle with: organized planning. We love the dreaming stage, but to make those dreams real, you need a plan.
Right. Got to get out of our heads and into action.
Exactly. Hill emphasizes having a detailed plan, but he also warns against over-planning, getting stuck in analysis paralysis. He actually encourages starting, even if the plan isn't perfect, take action and adjust as you go.
So it's like finding that balance between planning and flexibility, right? Being adaptable.
Absolutely. And he also talks about having a mastermind group, a group of people dedicated to supporting each other's success. We'll talk more about that later, but the idea is that shared knowledge and accountability can help you stay on track.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued by that. Sounds like a powerful support system. But let's be real, there are always roadblocks on the way to success.
Oh, for sure.
What are some of the common ones people face?
One of the biggest is indecision. Hill noticed successful people make decisions fast and change their minds slowly. Unsuccessful people, the opposite.
So it's about being decisive, trusting your instincts.
Exactly. Hill believed that fear of criticism holds us back from making those bold decisions. We get so caught up in seeking approval, we lose trust in our own judgment.
But isn't it good to get feedback? How do you balance being decisive with getting input from others?
That's a good point. Hill's all about trusting yourself, but also recognizes the value of mentors or advisors. The key is being selective, right? Don't let negativity or doubt from others drag you down.
You have to be mindful of who you let influence you.
Absolutely. And this leads to another key principle: persistence. Hill tells this heartbreaking story about R.U. Darby, who quit mining for gold just 3 feet from a massive vein.
Oh no. Talk about bad timing.
He was so close, but he gave up. It shows how important persistence is. And Hill believed that true persistence comes from burning desire.
If you're wise and strong enough, you're going to quit when things get hard.
Exactly. Think about those who achieved incredible things. Ford, Edison, Colonel Sanders, they all faced rejection and setbacks, but they kept going.
They had a vision. So the question is, what would you persist through if your desire was strong enough?
What dream is so compelling that nothing could stop you?
Wow, that's a powerful question. It really makes you think about your level of commitment. But how do we develop that kind of persistence, especially when we have doubts?
That's where the power of the mastermind comes in. Hill believed that surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are all committed to each other's success can provide incredible support and accountability.
Okay. Yeah, having people who believe in you, challenge you, and encourage you, that can make a huge difference.
Exactly. They can help you stay on track when you feel like giving up.
Okay, I am so ready to dive into this mastermind concept. But first, I think we need to revisit that idea of sex transmutation.
Yes, one of Hill's most controversial principles. But before you jump to conclusions,
I'm trying not to.
it's not what you might think.
Okay, I'm all ears. What is Hill actually talking about here?
He observed that many successful people have this intensity, this drive that goes beyond just ambition. He believed that this energy, often expressed as sexual desire, could be channeled, redirected into something creative and productive.
So not suppressing desire, but transforming it.
Exactly. It's about harnessing that raw power and focusing it on your goals. He believed that mastering this principle could unlock this incredible source of energy and focus, propelling you towards success.
Okay, this definitely requires further exploration. But for now, I'm curious about how we can use the power of our minds to achieve our goals, beyond just desire and faith.
That brings us to another key principle: the subconscious mind. Hill reminds us that the subconscious doesn't judge, it just accepts whatever we feed it.
So if we're constantly feeding it negativity and doubt, that's what it's going to manifest.
Unfortunately, yes. But the good news is, it works both ways. If we feed it positivity, visualize success, and truly feel those emotions, we can reprogram it.
So it's about being mindful of what we're putting into our minds.
Absolutely. It's about becoming aware of those thoughts and beliefs we're holding on to and actively choosing to replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Remember, autosuggestion. This is where it really comes in handy.
So we're using affirmations, visualizations, and repetition to rewire our thinking for success.
You got it. Hill believed that we can literally shape our reality by consciously choosing what we focus on. He said, "You become what you think about most of the time."
Wow, okay, that's powerful.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about where your attention's going, doesn't it?
It does, and Hill takes this concept of thought even further with the principle of the brain as a transmitter.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this one.
He compares the brain to a radio, constantly sending and receiving thought vibrations. He argued that our thoughts, especially those fueled by emotion, actually have the power to influence not only our subconscious minds, but the world around us.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying our thoughts can literally attract things into our lives?
That's exactly what he's saying. He believed that thoughts infused with fear attract failure, while thoughts charged with faith attract success. It's about aligning your mental frequency with what you want to achieve.
Okay, this is getting mind-blowing. So you're saying we can attract opportunities and even luck by changing our thinking.
That's what Hill believed. He even suggested that intuition works this way. You're subconsciously picking up on thought vibrations that align with your desires and goals.
I'm starting to see how all these principles could work together to create some major shifts in our lives. But this is a lot to take in.
It is, and we're just getting started.
I can't wait to dive deeper.
So before we got cut off, we were starting to talk about some of the more, shall we say, mind-bending ideas in Think and Grow Rich.
Right. Like that mastermind concept. It sounds so intriguing.
It's powerful stuff. Hill saw that a lot of the most successful people in history, they had this inner circle,
It's our crew.
Yeah, a group of people who were all in on their vision, committed to helping each other reach their goals. Think Ford, Edison, Carnegie. They all had their trusted advisors and collaborators.
Okay, so it's more than just networking, right? It's a real support system.
Exactly. It's about finding people who inspire you, challenge you, hold you accountable to your highest potential. Hill believed that the energy of that kind of group, that collective intelligence, could seriously amplify your efforts.
Okay, I'm starting to see how that could be a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we even create one of these mastermind groups? Do I just call up all my smartest friends and make a pact?
Well, it takes a bit more intentionality than that. Hill actually lays out a whole process for it. First, you got to find people who have the skills and knowledge you need to succeed.
Right, not just anyone.
Then you establish clear goals, like what are we all working towards? And then there's a commitment to meeting regularly, sharing ideas, giving feedback, and supporting each other's growth.
So it's like a team sport for success.
I love that analogy. But it does require vulnerability, right? You're sharing your dreams, your challenges.
It's got to be a safe space.
Exactly. You have to be open, honest about your struggles, willing to ask for help. Hill knew it could feel risky, but he believed the payoff from a true mastermind group, it was worth it. Faster progress, access to a wider range of knowledge and experience.
And that constant support to keep you motivated.
Exactly. Okay, so speaking of things that require vulnerability, let's circle back to that sex transmutation principle. I gotta admit, I'm still a little fuzzy on how we're supposed to actually channel this energy.
Yeah, it's a concept that it can be easy to misinterpret, to say the least.
Oh, for sure. But Hill wasn't saying to deny or suppress sexual desire. It's more about understanding its power and then redirecting it.
Okay, so harnessing that energy and putting it towards your work.
Think of it like this. The same passion and intensity that fuels romantic love, that can be channeled into building a business, creating art, anything that lights you up.
I'm starting to see how that could work. It's like tapping into this primal force and making it work for you.
Exactly. But it's less about specific techniques and more about becoming aware of this energy and consciously choosing how you direct it.
So mindfulness is key here.
Definitely. Hill believed that if you really focus on your goals, immerse yourself in your work, you naturally channel that energy in a productive way.
So it's about finding work that you're truly passionate about, work that aligns with your purpose.
That's where the magic happens. When you're excited about what you're doing, it's easier to channel that energy effectively. Now, you mentioned the subconscious mind earlier and how it just accepts whatever we feed it, right?
Right, which is a little scary if you think about it.
It is. That's why Hill was so big on autosuggestion, using affirmations, visualizations, repetition.
To reprogram our minds for success.
Exactly. You're essentially training your brain, just like an athlete trains their body. If you consistently feed your subconscious with positive, empowering thoughts, you can literally rewire it.
Okay, that makes so much sense. But, Hill doesn't stop there, does he? There's that whole brain as a transmitter idea.
Yes, that one tends to raise some eyebrows. But Hill's point was that our brains are like radios, constantly sending and receiving signals.
Thought vibrations, he called them.
Right. And he believed that those thoughts, especially when they're charged with emotion, have a real frequency that can attract similar frequencies back to us.
So if you want to attract success, you need to cultivate that positive, success-oriented mindset.
Think of it like tuning your mental radio to the station you want to listen to. It's not about ignoring the challenges, but about choosing to focus on the positive, believing in your ability to overcome obstacles.
I like that. It's a more proactive approach.
And this leads us to one of the most fascinating concepts in the book, the sixth sense.
Ooh, this is the part I've been waiting for. Intuition has always been a bit of a mystery to me.
Hill described it as the pinnacle of his system. This gut feeling that's so strong and clear, it's like you're getting guidance from somewhere beyond yourself.
Okay, now that's mind-blowing. So how do we develop this sixth sense? Is it something we can actually learn?
Hill believed it's something we can all cultivate, but it takes mastering all the previous principles, building that foundation of faith, desire, autosuggestion.
So it's like a reward for all that mental training.
Exactly. The more attuned you become to your inner self, the stronger your connection to this higher intelligence, this universal wisdom that can guide you on your path.
This is also inspiring. But, we have to talk about fear. It's the one thing that can really derail us.
Fear is a powerful force, but Hill believed it could be overcome. He outlined 6 basic fears that hold most people back: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, death.
Well, yeah, those pretty much cover it, don't they?
He wasn't saying to pretend you're not afraid, but to confront those fears head on and use your mind to neutralize them. Remember, autosuggestion, we can apply that here too.
So instead of dwelling on, what if I fail?
Mm-hmm.
I start affirming, I am capable. I will succeed.
You got it. You're retraining your brain to see possibilities instead of limitations. Fear of poverty. Affirm abundance. Afraid of criticism. Affirm confidence and resilience. It's about choosing which thoughts you allow to take root.
We're literally rewiring our mental circuitry for success.
Exactly. And when fear feels overwhelming, action is even more important. Hill believed that action is the antidote to fear.
But sometimes fear can be paralyzing. It's like, I'm too afraid to even act. What do I do then?
Start small. Break down those goals into bite-sized pieces. Instead of trying to tackle the whole mountain of fear at once, focus on taking one step at a time. Each small victory builds confidence, proves to yourself that you can face your fears and keep moving forward.
This is so empowering. Hill is giving us a roadmap to conquer any fear, no matter how big or small. But it still sounds tough to do this alone.
You're absolutely right. That's where having a supportive community comes in, especially that mastermind group. Having people who believe in you, encourage you, hold you accountable, it can make all the difference.
They're your cheerleaders, your sounding board, your source of strength when you feel like giving up.
Exactly. And remember, Hill's ultimate message is one of empowerment. He believed that we are capable of so much more than we think. We have the power within us to shape our reality, achieve our dreams, and live truly meaningful lives.
I love that. It's so hopeful.
And it's all about understanding and applying these principles. He wasn't talking about positive thinking or wishful thinking. It's about rewiring your mind for success.
It's about taking control of your thoughts and beliefs.
And remember that powerful quote: "You become what you think about most of the time." Choose to focus on faith, courage, and possibility. Those qualities will become your reality.
This has been incredible. We've gone from goal setting to thought vibrations to the sixth sense. This is a serious deep dive into the power of thought.
And we're not done yet. There's still so much to explore, especially when it comes to conquering fear and stepping into our full potential.
I'm ready for more. So where do we go from here? How do we actually put all of this into practice?
Well, Hill gives us a framework for overcoming those fears that are holding us back.
Okay, because we've all got them right.
Oh, absolutely. But instead of just telling us to be brave, he provides some pretty practical strategies.
Love that. Actionable advice. So how do we start?
First, you got to figure out which fears are actually operating in your life. Get real with yourself.
Name it to tame it, right. But sometimes it's hard to even pinpoint those fears. They can be so subtle, so ingrained, that you don't even realize they're influencing your choices.
It's true. Fear can be sneaky. That's why Hill suggests you really pay attention to your thoughts and actions. Notice any patterns. What situations make you anxious or cause you to, avoid things? Are you always worried about money? Do you get super sensitive to criticism? Once you identify those recurring fears, you can start tackling them.
Okay, so let's say I've identified a fear that's been holding me back. Like, I don't know, fear of failure. Classic, right? What do I do then? Just try to ignore it.
ignoring it. Nah, that rarely works. It's like trying to push a beach ball underwater. It's just going to pop up somewhere else.
True.
Hill was all about using your mind to counteract the fear. Remember that whole auto-suggestion thing? You can use that here too.
So instead of letting my mind spiral with those "what if I fail" thoughts,
You replace them with positive affirmations. I am capable. I am resourceful. I am going to succeed. Stuff like that.
you're basically rewiring your brain to see possibilities instead of limitations.
Exactly. If the fear is about money, start affirming abundance. If it's criticism, affirm self-confidence. You get the idea.
Okay, so I'm reframing my thoughts. But what about those times when the fear just feels like totally overwhelming, like it's paralyzing you from taking any action?
That's when action becomes even more important. Remember, Hill believed action is the antidote to fear. The more you act, the less power fear has over you.
But what if you're too afraid to act? It's a vicious cycle.
Right. That's why he says, start small. Break down your goals into bite-sized chunks. Don't try to climb the whole mountain of fear in one go. Just focus on one step at a time. Each small victory will give you more confidence and momentum.
Okay, that's a good strategy. It's less intimidating that way. But I imagine this is still pretty tough to do alone.
It can be. That's why Hill was such a big believer in surrounding yourself with a supportive community, especially your mastermind group. Having people who believe in you, encourage you, and keep you accountable can make all the difference.
They're like your personal cheer squad, helping you push past your comfort zone.
Exactly. Now remember what Hill said. Success isn't just about luck or talent. It's about cultivating a certain mindset.
It's about how you think and how you approach the world.
Anyone, regardless of their background, can achieve amazing things if they apply these principles.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts, it's about taking concrete steps to rewire your thinking.
You got it. And this leads us back to Hill's most powerful message. You become what you think about most of the time.
So choose those thoughts carefully.
Right. If you're constantly feeding your mind negativity, that's what you'll manifest. But if you choose to focus on faith, courage, possibility, those qualities will become your reality.
Wow, that's powerful. We really do have the power to create our own destiny.
Absolutely do.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive into Think and Grow Rich. I feel like I have a whole new toolbox for achieving success.
It's a book that continues to inspire. Hill's principles are timeless and can be applied to any area of life.
And to our listeners, if you're looking for a way to really level up your life, I highly recommend checking out Think and Grow Rich. It's a game changer.
Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep those thoughts focused on your dreams.
And that's a wrap for today. Until next time, keep on thinking and growing rich.